and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where yes, there is a lot for us to get through. There is a lot for us here to discuss, to dissect, to debate, and it all revolves, of course, around the shock exit of Inigo Martinez. Now, why did that happen? How did that happen? How did it happen in that way? There's lots of layers for us today to delve into right now. What is happening at Barca? And we're going to be talking about the lack of a transfer fee. We're going to be having a serious discussion about the club's planning or lack of it. And we're also going to be talking now about what this exit means in terms of registrations, in terms of registering our new signings, because believe it or not, it's still not straightforward. And what does this mean for the team out there on the field? The options that Flick has from start to finish today, it's going to be a roller coaster. There's going to be plenty of emotions, but by the end of it, we should have a clearer idea of how all of this happened. Oh, and also today, we've got injury updates with concern over Robert Lewandowski and Dani Olmo. So come on, guys, and let's do this. Because, well, where on earth should we begin? Because actually, first of all, I would just say it was the ultimate shock yesterday evening. I think first and foremost here, this was an almighty surprise to every single Barca fan, and even the media had no idea this was coming. I actually thought that it was a joke yesterday when I saw Inigo being linked away from the club, and the speed of which it all happened was absolutely unbelievable. I never expected us to be starting a new season without a player who was so integral to our backline last season. It was almost unthinkable. Now, in my opinion, guys, my guess would be that Hansi Flick now has known for a little while, because I think even now, looking at his reaction to Pau Cubarsí going down injured in the last friendly match, that takes on a whole different meaning now. I think that already puts into context here how much quality, how much depth we have lost with Inigo's exit, because look how concerned Flick was about a potential injury to Cubarsí. And you'd also have to say right now, the experimentation that we've seen with Gerard Martin at centre-back in pre-season, well, that is absolutely no coincidence now. I think we could all see that is a bit of a calculated move. That was Flick's way maybe of trying to get ahead of this situation, which I guess in a way I'm glad about. You know, I would have hated the thought of Flick finding out at the same point that we all did, you know, out of nowhere, it just being thrown at him. Oh, by the way, you won't have Inigo. That would be an absolute nightmare for any coach. So at least here Flick has had a little opportunity maybe to try a few alternatives. But in terms of Gerard Martin at centre-back, guys, I guess my concern with that would be if he is going to be used as depth and rotation, well, he was also supposed to be our depth and rotation at left-back. It's not like we've signed anybody. It's not like we've improved our full-back depth there. So we're asking even more of him now, but there is going to be big emphasis on Jofre Torrens. That is going to be a big player here who could make that step up at left back. He's been very impressive in pre-season, and this might open the door for him to get amongst it in the first team and really help us out. Because what you'd also have to say right now is this guarantees the future of Andreas Christensen. It guarantees that Araujo will be staying at the club. You've also got Eric Garcia in there as well. He is a player who's capable of playing at centre-back. He's grown in importance over the past season under Hansi Flick, and of course you've got Koundé as well, who can play there, but you also need Eric and Koundé at right back too. Like I say, we're still lacking in full back depth. So there are only so many players who can help us at centre back. It is an almighty loss to lose Inigo. Barca are already being linked with a young centre-back, Geronimo Spina from Atletico Madrid B. That is who we're being linked with right now in the media. Could he come in and maybe play some part in the first team? You know, we need maybe a younger player to make that step up for depth. But can I just say again, we had Eman Cospo. I mean, everybody saw that there at the start of the season there, at the start of pre-season. He's being linked away from the club. We end up selling this talented young centre-back for €400,000. So let's be clear here, it's not even like we got anything really for him. And surely he would have been of use now. Now, he may have not seen a route to the first team. He may not have wanted to stay because he didn't feel part of the progression and the stepping up here. But again, with better planning from the club, surely he would have been in the discussion. Surely they could have gone to him and explained the process, explained here the situation with better planning inside of the club. He would have been an ideal replacement to step up from within. There would have been no transfer fee, no transfer at all, very, very small wages. And you just keep thinking here, inside of the club, in that boardroom, who, if anyone, is thinking long term? Because that does bring us back to the all-important question of, why on earth have we allowed Inigo Martinez to leave the club? You know, where has this come from? Is it from the club? Did they want him out? Have they put pressure on him in any way? Or is it simply a case of the player wanting to leave Barca? Now, from most of the media, you will hear that it was the player who requested the move there, which I admit, it's possible. We know that he will get more money there in Saudi Arabia. Al-Nassr have offered him a significantly improved salary, but still, he's only signed a one-year deal. There's an option there of one more year, but it's not as though he's gone over there and got huge money on a multi-year deal. It's still a very short-term contract, really. Now, it also is being said that Inigo maybe thought he was no longer capable of playing 50 high-level matches for Barca. That's possible too. You know, this is somebody who has had injury problems here, even at the club. But I just think you look at him last season, he still looked like a player who had so much to give. Even if it wasn't for 50 games, he could have played at a massively high level for some of them. He could have still been an important part of this team. And on the other side, I would say, is there no part of you here that thinks the club were almost happy to let him go? Because somebody had to go. That's what we all know. In this summer transfer window, someone had to be sacrificed. And maybe the offer to Inigo was a good one, but I think the club would have been in his ear. And they would have been basically saying, look, you would be helping us. We wouldn't actually mind if you were the one to just step aside now, free up those wages, let us have a little bit of room on the FFP, and you can go with our blessing. Because we know that Inigo is a great professional. He's not going to be somebody here who's going to hang around if he's not wanted. He's not going to cause a fuss just to pick up his salary. He has gone out here on such a high. He has gone out with the respect of every single Barca fan. So many players, by the way, and one in particular could learn from this kind of attitude and this kind of approach. But yeah, who do you think really instigated this move? Because then you come on to the next big question, which is why, if Inigo had to go, if it was something that simply had to happen, why is there no transfer fee? And that still staggers me. I don't care which way you spin this, it is unacceptable that we have let a player join a club in Saudi Arabia, in Al-Nassr. They are one of the clubs there that just spend money like it's going out of fashion. They literally write blank checks, it seems like, for every other player coming into their club. They pay Cristiano Ronaldo hundreds and hundreds of million euros a year, and we get nothing. We have gotten absolutely nothing out of them. It's staggering, and it makes this deal hurt even more. But then we hear in the media, and again, there's lots of stuff coming out like, oh, it's okay because Inigo Martinez had a clause in his contract that actually was inserted only a few months ago, that if an offer came in, a big one, then he could leave the club for free. Now again, can I just say, that's not an excuse. Don't think, oh, just because there's a clause in his contract, Barca get away with that one. They put it in there. They accepted that clause. Why did they ever agree to that here? Because again, we are not a charity. We do not need to hand players out. We don't need to give players away. If you're a football club, you protect your assets, you protect your players, you understand the value that you've had. And when you've got a player performing as well as Inigo was last season, and he renews only a few months ago, you don't accept that clause. You don't think, I will happily give him away if an offer comes in. It should never have been accepted. And people will say, oh, well, Inigo was signed on a free, we're happy to give him away on a free, it's only fair. No, it's not. Because people then will also be surprised that Inigo Martinez was on a salary of 14 million euros a year. That is massive money. Let's get that right. That is absolutely huge. But that's because we got him on a free. We didn't pay a transfer fee, so we made up for it in terms of offering him really, really good money. But that's what I mean here. That's why, just because we got him on a free doesn't mean you give him away. We gave him good money. We gave him a good salary, and we have to operate better. We have to understand the value of what we have. And my problem, my biggest problem, this is not an isolated incident. You know, I could understand here if people thought, oh, you're just making a big fuss, you're just complaining, you're just moaning, it's one deal. It's not one deal. We are all aware this is what Barca do. Nobody was surprised yesterday when it came out. Oh, of course, we're getting nothing for him. Nobody was shocked by that. It was the same, for instance, when we sold Franck Kessie to Saudi Arabia. Every other club are selling players over there for 30, 40, 50, 60 million euros. We sell Kessie when we signed him, for free, but we sold him for 12 million. 12 million! He could have gone for 30, 40, 50, genuinely, the player of his quality, the player of his age. We undersold him massively. You look at this summer, Pablo Torre has gone for 5 million. 5 million for an exciting, talented young player. They're going to a La Liga team. Noah Darvic was let go for less than 1 million. I mean, a transfer going through in this day and age for less than 1 million euros. And you just know we're going to terminate the contract of Oriol Romeo. That's going to be more money, more wages that are being wasted over many, many years. We're probably going to give away Iñaki Peña. We probably would have given away Marc-Andre ter Stegen if he would have agreed to leave. And I just don't think we can stress this enough, guys. We've spoken about it so many times, and we will continue to speak about it until we do better. We cannot sell players. We do not sell players well. And yeah, I complain a lot about it. Yeah, I moan a lot about it. But there's a reason, and it's to do with income. Because Barca need money coming in for FFP reasons. Income is massive for the club. The transfer fees that you can generate, it's huge. Because at the end of the day, we talk all the time about our salary cap. We talk all the time about FFP and La Liga. The thing that sets the salary cap is the income of the club. The money that you make sets the salary cap. So if you're not bringing in money, and right now we're away from our stadium, you can see now why the VIP seats deal is so important for the club. You need to maximise every revenue stream, and if we're underselling players, if we're giving players away for free, that is only hurting us in the long term. But you know the deal. You know the situation. You know why Barca continue to do this. They are desperate. And this happens every single year. Every summer, they are desperate. We know it as fans. Other clubs know it. They exploit Barca. And we undersell. We are forced to undersell. And the worst part is, it's us. We put ourselves in these situations. We go out. We sign players. We get them in. We offer them money. And then we think, oh, we can't register them. What are we going to do? We start panicking inside the club. Who can we let go? Who can we get rid of? What can we do quickly so we can register our new players? And it's a constant cycle that never changes. And we need to stop this. We have to get our affairs in order. We cannot continue to lurch from one desperate situation to another. We've got to be in control. We cannot continue to operate like this as a club. Because the extraordinary thing and the unbelievable thing right now, registrations, they're still up in the air. Because even despite freeing up those wages, which Barca will tell us that's the important thing, we didn't get a fee, but we freed up 12 to 14 million euros there of salary space. And yet what we're hearing is it's still not enough to register, for instance, Marcus Rashford. It's not enough. We will not be able to do it right now. And the reason for that is because we are still not part of the 1-for-1 rule. It is not a case right now of Barca of one out and one in. And that is why I'm talking about income. That is why I'm talking about getting the club back to the 1-for-1. That's what we've always been targeting. Laporta has told us we were there, we are not. And what that means is you can't use all of the money that you bring in. You can't use all of the wages that you've just freed up if you are not on the 1-for-1 rule. You can only use part of it. And that is the whole problem right now. Even though we've let a key player go, even though we've let an essential part of our team last season just walk out the door for free, it's still not enough right now. Even now, it is still not enough to register all of our new signings. So like I say, you just can't go on like this. You can't just keep lurching from one thing to another. Because can I just ask you guys a very, very honest and frank question? What on earth were the club planning to do with Nico Williams? Let's just imagine here they had paid his release clause. Let's just imagine here that they had paid all of that money up front to bring him in. How on earth were they planning on registering him? And again, you just think here, what was the plan? You know, how many other players would we have had to cast aside? Would we have had to throw out of the club overnight to get that over the line? The planning's not there, the thinking, the focus from this club, it's way out of alignment. It's like they're operating on a different planet here to the rest of us. Let's get back down to earth. Let's get back here down to business and understand what we're all seeing. Because as I keep saying, and it makes me want to bang my head against the wall, you can't operate like this. We cannot continue to make these same mistakes and be stuck in this cycle every single summer. Because, okay, guys, just take a big deep breath there. Let's just move on here to some of those injury updates from training. And I don't mean to pile things on you, but ultimately right now, this is what's happening at Barca. This is the news that we are getting. We have to talk about injuries because Robert Lewandowski, he is out. The club have officially confirmed this morning that he is suffering there with muscle discomfort in his thigh, and he is confirmed out for Sunday's Gamper match against Como. And I've got to say, guys, that is a bit of a blow. That is the final pre-season game before the brand new campaign gets underway, and it's not really ideal there for Lewandowski or for Hansi Flick. This is somebody who is usually so fit, so consistent. Now, we know that Lewandowski, he's 36 years old now. You know, age catches up to every single player. We're still wondering what kind of role is he going to have this season. This could be Lewandowski's final season in a Barcelona shirt. And of course, we do have a little bit more competition now in the number 9 role. It's been reported today that Flick is starting to see Marcus Rashford as more and more of a number 9. Now, of course, he is being used as depth over on the left-hand side. He can certainly play there as a very effective inside forward on that wing. But after training sessions and the pre-season games that we've seen, Flick is very much open to using Rashford as the 9. And of course, we can't forget either about Ferran Torres too. That's important, you know, he played such an important role last season. He was very, very effective. He took his chances well. He really improved his level. And of course, so much of that was him coming off the bench, having that impact, giving us a different look. And I'm sure that we will look to utilise that yet again in the coming season. However, guys, that's not it. In terms of injuries right now, in terms of concerns in this team, well, there is also a problem right now for Dani Olmo, who did not train with the rest of the group today. He didn't train there due to a muscle overload, which, look, on the face of it, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing at all that is serious there in the now. But again, I just say, it's not ideal. You know, the season hasn't even started yet. You know, this is when we should be just going through your paces, getting yourself ready for the season. And we've all spoken about how important this campaign, and especially the start of it, is going to be for Dani Olmo. You know, there's so much more competition now in the attacking areas. The last thing that he needs is to continue last season's fitness struggles, to be in and out of the team, not really finding that momentum, not really having a consistent run of games. If you're in and out right now, if you're not able to really be counted on, somebody's going to take your place. That is the reality at Barca right now. There's so many quality players in those attacking areas. Somebody will take your spot in the lineup. So I think here for Dani Olmo, of course, he can't control injuries. These things can happen to absolutely anyone. But he knows how important it is to be fit, to be ready, to be there and available for selection. Because, like I say, there's competition swarming all around him. Which, of course, guys, does indeed bring us on to your opinions right now on everything that you are seeing at the club. It is pretty crazy right now. It is certainly with Barca all happening from every area, every angle. And honestly, not too much right now to be overly happy about. You know, I want to come here with more upbeat news. I want to come here with real excitement ahead of the new season, but we've got to tell it like it is. We have to be honest about what we are seeing inside of the club, and let me know today what you are feeling deep down about the Inigo situation, about the way that all of this has been handled and planned out. I want to know your thoughts, and I thank you indeed for tuning in, for getting through these times. And I will see all of you soon, with lots more coming up, and more excitement and happiness is only just around the corner. I am sure of it, guys. So thank you for watching. But until next time, as always, Veshka, El Barça.